Should I? No. Should I? No. Hi, I'm Kate and welcome to my channel. So for today's Throwback Thursday, I put it out to Instagram, going between a couple older palettes that I have, and the vote went to the ABH Original Norvina palette. So this is a really pretty palette, kind of pinky purple, quite a few neutrals in there, but not one that I have grabbed for a very long time. So part of my purpose of doing kind of this series on my channel is to encourage myself and others to use what you already have. So grabbing palettes that are maybe a little older but you haven't given much love to, and just kind of rediscovering old favorites. So we're hopping into this one today. So before I dive in, I'm going to go off camera, fill in my brows, prime my eyes, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I went in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow, perfect since we're using ABH eyeshadows today. This is my go-to brow product. I've been using probably this same one for almost a year and it is barely dipped into because I use very little, but awesome product. I don't know how purple I want to go today. I might start neutral and maybe add a pop of purple. Right. Time for some eyeshadow. So I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start with the shade Incense and just go into the crease with that. I think the last few looks I've been doing, I've been starting darker, so we're going to just start light and build ourselves up a little bit. Alright. I really like that brown, kind of a medium toned brown. I'm going to go into the lightest shade Base and just buff out the edges on that. I'm going to go in with the same brush, just use my color switch to get any extra pigment off, and go buff that out. Something I love about Anastasia shadows, there is quite a bit of fallout. I mean, I don't love that. So they are very powdery, but what's nice about that is they blend like a dream. So they are more powdery, but they blend out beautifully. Alright, so that buffed out really nicely. I'm gonna go a little darker and pick up the shade Volatile. It's kind of a cool tone brown. I'm gonna grab a slightly smaller brush and focus that a little more in the outer corner and drag it through the crease. I think I'm going to stop there with that. So, I mean, it's a little messy on the edges, but that's why I go in with my eyeshadow first. I can always clean it up as I do my face. So I think I'm going to keep it pretty neutral today. So the shimmers in this palette are fantastic. I don't know how deep I'm going to go, but the shade Dazzling, oh, they're just so soft to the touch. It's a really pretty gold, but it has like a little bit of a coppery pink tinge. The shade Celestial is a really pretty kind of softer purple. Rose Gold, this shade I used on my friend for her wedding. I'll see if I can find a picture and pop it in if she lets me. She wanted a very kind of rosy gold eye to go with her kind of rose skirt. But there is a really pretty pink Wild Child. That might be a nice inner corner. And then Summer, I don't even have enough fingers for this. Summer is a really pretty gold shade. And then the last shimmer is Dreamer. Well, not the last one. There's also this deep purple I'll add in there too. So I really like Anastasia shimmers. They are really pretty. But I think I'm going to keep it pretty basic today. Now my hand is beautifully stained. So let's go in. See, I don't think I'm going to do a cut crease. Or should I do a cut crease? Should I? No. Should I? No. No. We're lazy today. Alright, so I'm going to grab that shade Dazzling and pop it on the lid. You know, what if we then grab Drama, that really deep purple, and just pop that out here, just for a little pop of purple. And just kind of blend those together a little bit. Okay. All right, so what did we do? I grabbed Dazzling, popped that on the lid, and then grabbed a little bit of Drama. So I think having the two shimmers working together just adds a little dimension. But now I need to dip in, so now I'm gonna go a little darker than I planned on. Isn't that the trend? I'm gonna grab the shade Passion and just kind of blend that deep purple into the outer corner a little bit. I will say this has not been one of my favorite ABH palettes. It is beautiful, but I don't know that I've ever loved any look that I've gotten out of it, and that's part of why I put this in the Throwback Thursday, because I want to see if I can get some love out of it. If not, you know, it's something that I can declutter and pass along to a friend, but this is the first time that I'm really liking how a look is coming out, so we'll see. I think I'm gonna go a little bit in with the shade Dreamer, just kind of on the inside of the lid. I'm gonna take a brush for that, just to add a little brightness to this look. I don't know how much that did, but there we are. I feel like most looks that I've tried to do with this palette have been using like the shade Soul, which is a really pretty shade. But I find that when I pair that with any of the browns in here, it just turns really muddy. So, you know, that might be something where I just do that in the crease with a light shimmer and not try to deepen it up with any of the browns, but anytime I've used it, it just gets really muddy. We're gonna stop there. So it's very neutral. If you're up close, you can kind of see a slight plummy tinge to that outside shimmer, but maybe I'll go a little more purple on the lower lash line and in the inner corner, but I'm gonna stop there with that. And I'm gonna go in with my skincare and foundation off camera, and I'll be right back. All right, so I went in with foundation with the Woma foundation and the shade White Pearl. I went in with the Rare Beauty concealer, and let's do some bronzing up. So I'm gonna go in with the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I have the shade Fair. Just gonna warm up the perimeter of my face. Okay, all right, what do I want to do for blush today? I'm thinking a little more like pinky for the look today, so I'm gonna go in with the Patrick Ta blush. This is the shade She's That Girl, so kind of just a nice true pink blush. All right, that's super pink. Alright, I'm gonna go over that with a finishing powder just to diffuse out the edges. Alright, I think I am gonna do a highlight today, so maybe I'll use, I have a Becca highlighter that kind of has a pink tinge to it. It's the shade Prismatic Amethyst, so let's see. I don't know how well you can see that. I'll swatch it on my already messy hand. But it's just a really pretty soft pink. But I'm gonna go in with a super flimsy brush because I don't want this to be too, you know, over the top. So I have a Morphe M510. I'm just gonna pick a little bit up. This might not even show up on camera, but all right, so let's dip back into the eyeshadow. I think my face is done. So one thing that I think this palette is missing is I wish instead of I don't know, maybe instead of like this eccentric shade, there was like a deep plummy matte. Because the deepest matte is this really warm brown, but I feel like it needs a deep plum matte. But because we're lacking that, I'm gonna go on with the deep plum shimmer, which I don't love to go with shimmers on the outside of the lower lash line, but that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna grab that shade Drama and just pop it under the lower lash line. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take a chance with that Soul shade, that kind of soft cool tone purple, and diffuse out that deeper shade and hope that it doesn't get muddy. So much powder, let me show you. You see all that? Alright, so that works. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but it kind of brings in the slight purple that I was hoping for this look without making it muddy. So I'm going to go in with the shade Wild Child, which is this one right here. And I'm going to try to pop that on the inner corner and see how it looks. Quite pink. And anyone who knows me knows I'm not really a pink eyeshadow person, but we're trying new old things today. So that's really pink. I'm gonna go over that. I want to keep a little bit of the pink, but I'm gonna go over it with the lighter shimmer in the palette called Dreamer. And just kind of make that a little more subtle. Alright, what are we thinking of the blend? I think it looks nice. I think it just looks very simple, which is what I was going for. I'm gonna go off camera, do liner and mascara, and I will be back. Alright, and I'm back. I went in with some liner. For mascara, I used my new favorite, the Bite Beauty mascara. Again, it is fantastic. For the lips, I went in with a NYX liner in the shade Prune, and then I topped it off with this Lancome. It's like a lacquer stain, shade 306. So this is the final look. What do you think? This might be one of the first looks that I really enjoy with this palette. I think it worked better to kind of just play with the neutrals together and then throw a little purple on the bottom. Like I said, when I've tried to pair Soul with some of the neutrals, it just gets really muddy and I don't like it, but went pretty basic today. So that's our Throwback Thursday. Let me know in the comments if there's a palette that you would like to see me do a Throwback Thursday with. I have a lot, or I could kind of duplicate a color story, but that's what we ended up with today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.